What up, it's your boy Team Reaction. This is a bonus for Wrestling Wednesday. So you see it later. It's almost at midnight, so you might see it tomorrow. But anyway, so about to check this video, I wanted to check out from World Culture. This is 10 dreadful wrestling tropes that need to die. It's so many wrestling tropes that is so cliched and just going on, and honestly, it's time for a change. In the words of the great Owen Hart, enough is enough. It's time for a change. Some of these, there's 10 movie names probably someone will think of. Some tropes I wish they stop as well too. One, only heels having the opportunity to hold long title reigns. I mean, if guys like the ones who have the record ahead of Roman Reigns, who are baby faces, can hold the title very long, why can't baby faces do it now? Why is only heels that have the lead way to get the long title runs as well too? Number two is also involving faces of heel. When faces get privileges of doing the jumping, but when the heels get the privilege of doing the jumping, but when the faces get back, they got the referees. 10 referees hold them back. They're not letting them get back and make them look like suckers, man. I hate it, and it's part of why folks don't like baby faces anymore, because of stuff they book them. And two, it's easier to book a heel than a baby face trope. Stop it. You're just lazy. You're just lazy, is what I'm gonna say. That's some of the tropes I wish and narratives I wish can change for real. To be honest, I wish they get rid of the baby face and heel thing by Neil. And I get it, they need for storylines, but at the same time, it's like hold some folks back for room for some of their favorites as well to kill free. Anyway, let's go.
If the majority of wrestling fans had it their way, you can bet that each and every one of the following frustrating, uninspired, and all kinds of dumb tropes would be permanently terminated from the business altogether after watching this very list. So with that in mind, I am Gareth, this is What Culture Wrestling, and here are 10 dreadful wrestling tropes that need to die. Number 10, kick out at 2.999 after a move that never works. Not all desperate kickouts are equal. For every jaw-dropping, seemingly impossible explosion of energy from an almost certainly finished person right as victory was slipping away, there's sadly a far more common visual of a wrestler fully believing they've sealed a win with a move, only for their adversary to inevitably escape defeat late on. The likes of Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins with their Blue Thunderbomb and Falcon Arrow combo respectively have been the most notable offenders over the years. If these stars simply accepted that the move in question was never gonna get the job done, folks could probably forgive the odd instinctive pin attempt. But the fact these workers continually slap the most artificial shocked face imaginable on their foolish mugs in the aftermath has turned this one into a hugely annoying wrestling trope. What is your favorite signature move? Let me know in the comment section right down below. Number 9, the You People rant 1 week after
I agree with that as well too. It ain't the you people now I'll do things what was it? Do things my way, be things on my own now, or look out for me and me on. I hate that being the trope a thing for a heel. Like blaming fans for this and that, or like being selfish or anything. Because what irks me, I guess it irks me more. 'Cause a lot of people call it relative to them. I mean, it's related. They can relate to stuff like that in real life, and that because they already know I hate the trope of the trope that folks say that heel is real life is all that. I hate when people say because it's pretty much saying you're not allowed to be a good person in real life. Like, fuck out of here.
Heel. One thing seems to be frustratingly certain in the wake of just about every babyface's decision to turn their back on the life of a good guy or gal. That sudden attitude adjustment will be swiftly followed by a monologue blasting all of you people in attendance and watching around the world. Take Jungle Boy Jack Perry's first real heel moments on the mic earlier this year, for example. Just a few days after finally snapping at Forbidden Door and turning on his pal Hook, the AEW pillar had swiftly shifted from slightly frustrated underdog face to a completely incredibly irritating and trope-stuffed villain.
Facts.
The entire thing felt like a parody more than a game-changing character shift. Perry isn't alone, of course. This sort of unoriginal targeting of the audience and tropey post-turn promo has become the stale norm nowadays. Number 8, a dive to the outside means a commercial is coming your way. What's the easiest way to tell if a 2-minute chunk of fast food marketing is heading your way mid-wrestling show? Why your favorite in-ring workers opting to chuck their bodies outside of the squared circle, of course. More often than not leads to an advertisement or two pulling you away from the action. Hell, this particular trope has become so terribly predictable, fans even find themselves feeling a little uneasy when a tope doesn't force their experience into a tiny square for a few minutes on pay-per-view. Would it be so bizarre to simply hop to a Burger King advert seconds after a performer just about survives being choke-slammed right down to hell? Well, apparently so. Number 7, I have hit you with this weapon, now we must have a match with this weapon. You didn't need this list to tell you that the wonderful world of professional wrestling is
this depends on the weapon, but I get it.
Half a silly one at the best of times, and the way many a vicious stipulation encounter has found itself being booked on an incoming pay-per-view or PLE. Just look at this year's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Right before a surprising ladder match between himself and the despicable Christian Cage was made official for the May 28th show, you'll never guess what Big Bad Wardlow was randomly battered with on Dynamite. It was painfully obvious where all this was going before the then TNT champion opted to challenge the patriarch of AEW to the stepped-up pay-per-view war. The fact weapons-based contests are still occasionally being set up in this non-exactly creative way in 2023 is unquestionably disappointing. Number 6, the Royal Rumble season top rope nonsense. Royal Rumble season is right around the corner, and you know what that means. Just about every single person who isn't involved in a title match at that January PLE is about to be spending a month attempting to avoid being tossed over the top rope. Why? Well, because Michael Cole and Corey Graves need to be able to remind fans who have been loyally watching the product for a decade or so exactly what the rules of the incoming Royal Rumble contests are, silly. Even if you are tuning into WWE programming for the very first time right now, there's a solid chance you'll be able to figure out what said routinely gripping bout involves by simply watching one of the many Rumble highlight packages online. But no, that is simply not enough, folks. You must watch people fly over the top rope for 5 to 6 weeks. Number 5, distraction roll-ups. WWE don't half love the sight of...
Oh, man. Or distraction period, like that too. Or the rough acting blonde as fuck. And what pissed me off is Kevin Owens finally get back on Logan Paul, but now the ref sees it.
Distracted performers being rolled up out of nowhere. The idea behind the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, distraction combo, salute to the mighty Simon Miller, is that this annoying trope of a finish protects both of the individuals involved. In theory, the winner comes away with an all-important victory, and loser is given a justification for failing to defeat their foe. In reality, though, this cheap conclusion does little to nothing for anyone, and pretty much renders the entire bout as pointless. If nobody really wins cleanly or in a way that properly helps their character grow / get more over with the crowd, then surely everyone just loses, right? Number 4, cheap city reference heel / babyface pops. Taking a quick look at the name of the town / city on the schedule that week, picking one of their many sports teams, before then either crapping on or celebrating said foot basket baseball squad. The cheap saluting or blasting of whatever country or city a performer finds themselves performing in will never not be dull to just watch anywhere else. Now sure, there's the odd sensational exception. Elias and Kevin Owens' outrageously loud Seattle bashing segment remains iconic, but there have been far more examples of wrestlers chucking out deeply unimaginative compliments and criticisms at the place they're standing in over the years. Number 3, 2 enemies are tagging, but can they coexist?
I'm not mad at this, but I know folks always talk about this trope.
For every MJF and Adam Cole or Salt of the Earth and Samoa Joe example of enemies being forced to coexist in a tag environment and making it work, there has still been the odd frustrating time when the likes of WWE and AEW have opted to chuck enemies into a unit together just for the pair to inevitably turn on each other at some point in the mayhem. Coming into this year's WrestleMania, WWE stupidly opted to have 2 of their best workers in the women's division just bicker a little in a tag bout before Asuka obviously targeting presented her partner, Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, before the biggest PLE of the year. No epic or unexpected story, just two talented women who couldn't get along before a Mania contest. Put simply, despite the occasional coexisting hit, most would be happy to see this done-to-death trope super kicked out of the business entirely heading into 2024. Number 2, powering through the goon gauntlet to get to the heel leader.
Yeah.
Both the world of sports entertainment and the elite alternative have often become obsessed with chucking their babyfaces into grueling battles, which see them having to overcome a number of the heel's pals in order to get their hands on a glorious opportunity,
Right.
either to face their bitter enemy or challenge for a strap. The concept was strong for a time, but after watching what feels like 300 of them in different shapes and sizes go down on AEW TV in particular over the last few years, it's safe to say the majority of All Elite lovers would prefer it if the fighting through Jericho Appreciation Societies in one night was stripped away from the modern wrestling product. WWE seems to have a habit of booking this sort of predictable road to a champion or top villain too, with the likes of Gunther and Roman Reigns often making their enemies battle against their Imperium or Bloodline allies before they can share the ring with real greatness. Number 1, mid-match monologuing. Largely inspired by the tribal chief's insistence on creating magical cinema with all of the people sitting around his table. Initially, Roman Reigns leaning into the drama via verbal assault on the likes of Jey Uso and Kevin Owens during the Thunderdome era wasn't actually all that terrible. However, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion opting to stick to cutting promos during an intense battle when live fans returned led to many more taking a page out of Reigns' script. Seth Rollins is another who simply cannot resist throwing in some additional exposition, reminding Shinsuke Nakamura that he brought his family into their feud, and telling those watching at home the risks he takes bumping on a battered back. They know Seth the entire program told them for weeks, but why bother telling that story through masterful selling and the layout of a contest when you can just spell it out to those silly fans via excruciating monologuing instead, eh? I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Thank you as always for watching this video today.
Yeah,
Hopefully it was
not bad trolls as well too. I feel like there's some better trolls that they put in the list to be died, but it looks like some good trolls right there as well. Some was pretty good, some was like not as bad as I think it was, but other than that, not a bad video. So if you like more reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.